Dear imaginary grandson, Toothless, you're named after a dragon in the movie How to Train Your Dragon. Toothless is like the most badass dragon in that show, and he gets injured and has to learn to rely on a human to overcome his injury, and forms a tight bond with Hiccup, the young Viking human. So this video is covering the months of July, August, and September of 2024. Today is Sunday, November 3rd, and it is 2 days before Election Day. It's Donald Trump again versus Kamala Harris. And I think I'll talk about that a bit more at the end of this video. So going over the political events. So I already covered this a bit in the last video, is that Trump had a major assassination attempt at the beginning of July. I think it was July 13th or something. And so the assassin just managed to graze Trump's ear, and there was no major damages other than that. So I think a few weeks after that assassination attempt, Trump picked his running mate, his vice president pick, and his name is J.D. Vance. He's an interesting character. I recommend just YouTubing a funny video where J.D. Vance orders donuts in a donut shop, and it's a funny video to watch. I think soon after J.D. Vance was picked to be the VP for Trump, there was a ton of pressure from high-ranking Democrats that Joe Biden drops out of the presidential race due to being just far too old. And so he finally did, and he endorsed Kamala Harris to take his place. And at their Democratic convention, I think basically she had no opposition, and she was chosen as the candidate. So it wasn't even through the voting process of the regular public people, I guess. They just chose her to be his replacement. United States and Russia completed a rare prisoner exchange where 3 American prisoners finally returned to the U.S. soil. And then Trump and Kamala had a presidential debate. They only had one. Kamala won the debate. Trump rambled about Haitian immigrants eating cats and dogs in Ohio, and the left party had a party with that, just making fun of Trump, I guess, succumbing to like fake news so easily. But yeah, Trump doesn't think that she won the debate. He thinks he wins every debate, but he refused to have another debate with her. And right after the debate, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala, and thousands of Taylor Swift fans registered to vote after her endorsement. And then soon after, there was another apparent assassination attempt on Trump while he was out golfing. There were no shots fired at Trump, but a man was hiding in the bushes for 12 hours straight. And then on the golf range, a Secret Service agent spotted his gun sticking out from the bushes. And then there was just a little chase, and they were able to apprehend the man. So I guess that's the major things that happened politically. World events. The Olympics were going on in Paris this year. The highlights were a 51-year-old Turkish man was raw dogging a pistol shooting competition. Like all his other competitors had fancy glasses that were like really weird contraptions to help them aim their pistols better, but a Turkish man just did it. He had just regular glasses and he got second place. He won silver. And the other biggest highlight that went viral was an Australian goes viral in the breakdancing competition for being like very bizarre and I guess untalented would be mean, but like it was, you just have to watch it to know. And she became a big Halloween costume recently too. We just had Halloween a couple days ago. And then Snoop Dogg made several appearances as a spectator at the Olympics as well. Okay. Global warming stuff. Scientists say that the world's hottest day was ever measured was on July 22nd. And then they also said this has been the hottest summer ever recorded. The city of Phoenix, Arizona itself had 113 days straight of days with over 100 degrees Fahrenheit temperature recorded. And then some hurricane events. We had two major hurricanes hit the U.S. Hurricane Helene hit the East Coast and killed over 100 people. And 2 weeks later, a follow-up hurricane, Hurricane Milton, attacked and caused more mayhem and casualties across the South and East Coast, and both caused millions, if not billions, of damages as well. And then the S&P 500 had its sharpest drop in a single day since 2022, and so the investing world freaked out for about 4 days, and then it kind of just picked itself right back up within a week. All right, so that's basically all the news, and going over my personal life these past few months. I did my first ever yoga classes, and I did hot yoga, and they crank up the heat and the humidity to like 90, at least 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and then depending on the teacher, they crank up the humidity as well. A friend that I met at work, her name's Leslie, she invited me to do yoga with her, and it was super fun. It's kind of spiritual. Well, it's really spiritual for her, and it's a little bit spiritual for me too. And it's kind of depends on like the yoga teacher too, the instructor. They choose whatever playlist, the music. You're just in a room with lots of men and women, and I'm still learning all the basics of yoga, but it's a fun experience. It's kind of expensive. It's like $25 for a session. So I hope to keep doing it, maybe once a month or once every 2 months. And my car, my 2013 Chevy Sonic has just given me so many problems with like an AC line, with a turbo leaking coolant, the car breaking down on me when I drove to Arizona back in May, and I just found out that I've a really shitty car. It's especially with the turbo, it causes a lot of problems. So that was stressing me the fuck out. and I decided to buy a new car, or not a new car, but another car, and this one is a lot more expensive. So I bought a 2021 Toyota Corolla, and there was just so much stuff going on in my mind, especially with my crush of Leslie. I was still dealing with my Leslie crush and the car issues, and depression was seeping back into me. And so I didn't want to be living here anymore, but I told my parents about it, and I just submitted myself to a hospital in Bountiful, and they just put me in a psych ward for 5 days to recover and get back on medication. So I'm always just rebellious with medication, but I'm gonna try to do better to stay on lithium. So yeah, my mind's at a good place right now, and at the time being, and my crush with the coworker, it's finally peaked, and it's kind of on the downhill decline, where it's like I still really like her, but it's not as powerful as it used to be, and that's kind of helping too. So yeah, I'm actually at a hotel, if it wasn't already obvious. I'm on a big trip I signed up for a Spartan race in Southern California, and so this is my third Spartan race. This is called the Beast, and so I just did it yesterday, and so I'm super sore right now, and tired, and maybe a little dehydrated. I need to drink a lot more water. So I'm still in California right now, in a town called Barstow, and I'm gonna make my way up back to Utah over today and tomorrow. Here's my Spartan race medal. So the Beast was 21 kilometers and 30 obstacles, and I completed it in 3.5 hours. And I think so I finally completed the Sprint, Super, and Beast. And I think I'll keep doing Spartan races once in a while. Like right before this video, I just bought another Sprint pass, and that's a 5K race with 20 obstacles. But anyways, yeah, it's just a fun little vacation trip, but it was far too long of a drive to do a Spartan race. It's not worth it to travel like 12 hours with hotels in between, but it's just too long of a trip just for a Spartan race. So all my future Spartan races, I will either make sure they're super close, or I will fly to them and figure out transportation from there. Anyways, that's enough rambling about Spartan races. The books I've been reading these past 3 months, I got about a third of the way through The Count of Monte Cristo, then I got kind of bored, and so I stopped reading that, and now I'm reading A Game of Thrones. So I'm on the first book. It's called The Game of Thrones, and I'm probably about 85% done with it. The cinema I've watched these past 3 months, The Boys in the Boat, is based on a true story about the boat racing competition, where this college rowing team qualified for the Olympics, and they got for gold at the Olympics, and I think that was in Germany too, during the time of Hitler. So these American boys got gold. They beat the German team and all the other teams, they got gold, and it was very fascinating that it was also like right during the time of Hitler, right before he invaded Poland, maybe it was, before he started World War II. Okay, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters. I wasn't super impressed with it, but I don't know a lot of the fan fiction lore of like the X-Men and stuff that it was referring to. All that fun stuff. Like I know a lot of Marvel stuff, but I forgot what the opposite of Marvel is. Like DC. I think that's it. I don't know a lot of DC stuff. I watched The Crown season 1. Just kind of the history of Queen Elizabeth II, how she became queen, and the drama that was happening there. It was kind of cool. I watched Prison Break. It's an old TV show, seasons 1 and 2. Not very impressed with it, but it was kind of background noise as I cooked stuff and ate dinners. And I've also watched on Netflix this series called like Monster, and I watched the Menendez brothers first. And that was kind of a cool series, and I never heard of the Menendez brothers, but they're still in prison to this day. That's kind of a cool series, and a much more disturbing show was Jeffrey Dahmer. And I didn't know anything about him, but apparently he's like the Wisconsin monster or something. And yeah, that one was like, oh my God. Like he would not only kill people, but he would eat some of their organs. He would dissolve them in acid, and he would hide their bodies, and he got murdered in prison, according to the show. Sheesh. And then video games I've been playing Age of Empires again, and then Tunic. I finally played Tunic. It was amazing. I'm still playing it. There's kind of 2 endings to it, and I was able to get the quote-unquote easier ending, where you kind of just fight a final boss, and then you win the game. But then there's an alternate true ending, and it involves a lot more puzzles, and so I'm still working on getting that ending. And I just recommend it. It's like Zelda meets The Witness. The Witness is a very puzzle-heavy game, but it's just like a Zelda with a lot of hidden secrets and puzzles as you play it. I highly recommend it. Okay, so anything else that's been going on with me? Still working for Amazon. It's holiday season, so hopefully I'll get a lot of overtime. Hopefully I'll not get sick so that I can take advantage of all the overtime. And yeah, just the big thing that's about to happen in a few days for the entire country is Election Day, Trump versus Kamala. And according to the polls, it's like dead even. It's 50-50 chance who might win. I personally prefer Kamala, but I watch like all the late night shows, especially Jimmy Kimmel, and they're all against Trump, like, and so I'm hoping for Kamala to win, and my prediction is that she will barely win. And if Trump wins, like, my life won't be impacted very much, I don't think. It'll be fun to watch another 4 years of Trump. Personally, I think Trump will lose because most Americans are just sick of him after almost 10 years of seeing him. Like, I think, and he's basically almost as old as Biden anyways. So if Trump wins again, he will end in 2028, he will end his presidency as our oldest American president. So yeah, he's not as old as Biden yet, but he's gonna get there. And he already rambles about nonsense, and he does it so much that he's saturated, like everyone, with the stupid things that he says. It's like, I imagine at the Trump rallies, all his Trump supporters are kind of just mind numbed to all the crazy shit he says. It's just, I think they just turn it out. They tune out during his rambles, and they just like his persona, his, like, they just love the idea of him being like this businessman wild card that just mixes things up in politics. But like the actual sentences he says, like, I don't think any of those just go into his supporters. And like the Democratic side, they take everything he says and they think, you know, how stupid is this man? Listen to what he's saying. And like his own party is like, can't even hear what he's saying. I don't know if that makes any sense, but and if Kamala wins, I think things will stay just relatively about the same. I mean, the economy is doing pretty decent. The S&P 500's been getting all-time highs recently, and you know, who knows when the next recession will hit. So you know, whoever wins, I'll still be fine. I'm just a single lonely guy, and I don't think I'm honestly that impacted by whichever party wins. You know, it's just riding the economic roller coaster of things with everybody else, whoever wins. I'm rambling. I do that a lot, don't I? Okay. Thank you for visiting me in the past. I'll see you back in the future. Thanks. Bye.